Hello and welcome to the East Daily Download. My name is Mark. I'll be your tour guide on this adventure across the East. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday. We hope your day's off to a great start. We've got another big show in store for you. We'll get to that in just a second. But first, I want to make sure you know how you can find us online. You can find this show at WNCT.com under the East Daily Download tab. Now you can watch this episode or any episode and say that you want to watch tomorrow's episode. Well, it's already there, so you can do that. Also, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag EastDailyDownload. We'd love to hear from you. Now, as I mentioned, we have a big show in store for you. Angie Casada is here with a new Q&A with AQ. Send those questions in to download at WNCT.com or use the hashtag EastDailyDownload to send her those questions, and she has some good answers for you today. Also, we have a new Eye on Entertainment. I have part 3 of my sit-down interview with Director of Marketing Alexa Kay with the Down East Wood Ducks, and we're going to talk about special minor league baseball promotions. This is really good. I think you're going to enjoy it. But first, before we do any of that, I want to have Jerry Jackson, WNCT-9 First Alert Chief Meteorologist, introduce you to this week's Weather Kid.
Now downloading Weather Kids.
When it comes to forecasting, pointing on that green screen is not as easy as it looks. It takes practice. But our weather kid, Mason Snyder, stuck with it.
Temperature 86, dew point 56, Washington 82, New Bern 80.
Mason has a good vocabulary for his age, which comes in handy when he plays computer games. He also enjoys reading.
I've never read one. Like, what's it about? It looks like a superhero.
It
It's
is.
a dog. So what is it?
So, like, half of it had, like, Dogman without the suit, his superhero suit, and then, like, in the other half, he had his superhero suit, because the one in the middle, he kind of stole the superhero suit.
Mason has several pets.
I have, like, 6.
What have you got?
I've got 4 dogs and 2 cats. I got a kitty and he's only 2 months old, and I got him like a couple days ago, and his name's Petey.
Spending time with Mason was an interesting experience, and we welcome him to our Weather Kids family. Now, if your child would like to become a WNCT 9 on your side First Alert Weather Kid, send me an email and I'll explain how everything works. For the WNCT 9 on your side First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Jackson. Class dismissed. When the parents look at this and they see the kids on television, they think, oh, I would love to have my kid, but I'm a little bit scared to bring them on TV. When we shoot Weather Kids, it's not live. We don't put them in a high-pressure environment. It doesn't matter what their skill set is. We will guide them. We will show them where to stand. If they mess up, we've got plenty of time. We can do it over. We take our time to make them feel comfortable and to get it done right.
If your child is interested in being on Weather Kids, email Jerry at jjackson@WNCT.com.
The long forecast, the 7-8 day forecast, that's what I like to see. That lets me know ahead of time what the weather's going to be like. Jerry does a good job. He lets you know when something is finna transpire. I have the app on my phone and the radar on my phone, so I can keep up with that. It helps me know when the storm is coming up and what the weather's going to be like and what's bad. One moment I really appreciated was when Hurricane Florence was about, and the way Jerry really let you know what was going to happen. That was one moment that made my decision for us to leave town at that time. Because in Craven County, we got hit bad. And Jerry really emphasized how strong the storm surge was going to be, how much wind we was going to have, how much damage was expected. So that gave us the determination to leave town. So that was one of the great moments, I believe, was with Jerry's forecast of Hurricane Florence. I just want to say y'all continue to do what you're doing.
Now downloading Wacky Wednesday.
Hello and welcome back to the East Daily Download here on Wednesday. We appreciate you being with us as always. We still have a lot of show to cover. We're going to have Q&A with AQ, which is Angie Casada answering your questions that you can send to her at download@WNCT.com or use the hashtag East Daily Download and send her those questions. We're going to have an Eye on Entertainment coming up in a little bit featuring The Rock. And right now, we're going to sit down for part 3 of our interview series with Alexa Kay, the Director of Marketing for the Down East Wood Ducks. In this part of the conversation, we're going to talk about special promotions in minor league baseball. Let's hear what she has to say. I'm curious if there's a little girl who comes out here to the stadium and sees you or sees this interview, what kind of advice would you give to her to end up where you are or to grow in that path?
Oh, that's hard. I would just say keep at it. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something, even if you feel like intimidated by it. I think that it's intimidating when you're surrounded by male professional athletes every day that are twice your size, but just do you and dream big, I think.
So one of the cool things I think most fans do about baseball, minor league baseball specifically, is all the cool promotions that you have, the cool changing of different team names throughout the course of the season.
Yeah.
Walk us through that process.
Well, it's really a team effort, and I think that like each week we have meetings, and especially before a home series, we'll kind of get together and think of different ideas. We had a bunch of them this season, I should say. And like I said before, I have like a running notebook of just different ideas, but it's kind of, I don't know, you kind of build on it over the season. Like right now we're talking about 2020, and we've already got some really exciting things that I can't tell you guys about.
That's a teaser.
Yes, there you go. But
buy your season tickets for 2020.
Exactly. We just got we hadn't even finalized the schedule for 2020, and we were already having day-long meetings about it. So it's really incredible, but we've had a lot of fun with it.
So tell me about attendance and how it reflects with these 4 different teams that you play as during the season. The Collard Greens obviously plays, as we were talking before, about the rural nature of Eastern North Carolina. The Hispanic audience you're trying to bring in. Tell us about that.
Okay, so we played in a Copa series this year, so each team gets selected to play in in this series, and we submitted to do it, and we played as the Patos Hoyuyos this year, so it's basically wood ducks in Spanish. Okay. And our trainer last year actually helped us come up with that because he's Dominican. Okay. That's what it is, and we were like, we got to think of something cool. So that's why we did like bright colors and something totally different than our our wood ducks.
No, I mean I love the look and the design of that.
People really bought that hat a lot.
It's thin in the gift shop, and you sold out of the socks because I was looking to buy a pair.
I know. I'm sorry.
So this is how it all went down. When I was a kid, my mom would always say, Kelly, you talk to everybody. It's like every day is the Kelly Clarkson show. Then the other day, I'm in the studio asking a lot of questions, and my engineer says, what is this, like the Kelly Clarkson show? Then I'm at a play date with a super cool mom says, you should totally have a show. And I'm like, shut up, but in like a nice way. And then her daughter, who's like the cutest thing ever, says, it's like there's always been a Kelly Clarkson show, but now it's on TV. And I'm like, totally.
The Kelly Clarkson Show.
Hurricane Michael killed 59 people in the U.S. last year. During disasters like this, seconds matter. Emergency response teams need to act quickly, and technology helps them. Red Cross Disaster Operations Vice President Brad Kaiserman says the organization is moving away from making gut decisions on how to spread resources.
He understood following Katrina and Sandy the importance of leveraging technologies that were evolving but hadn't necessarily been applied to emergency management and response.
Now the Red Cross uses RC View, a multi-layered computer system that dissects a disaster. It collects critical data from federal, state, and local agencies, and even social media.
It's all about the science of where is something happening, where is their need, where are the resources, bring them together, and suddenly people aren't suffering anymore.
Color-coded letters and numbers all show Red Cross resources, damaged properties, and need, especially in a hurricane.
Show me where we would see that hurricane coming in and how this map would change.
We'll begin to see development here in the Gulf of Mexico, where storms often intensify rapidly.
But before that happens, Kaiserman says to download the Red Cross Emergency app, where you can get weather updates, safety tips, and information about shelters and feeding stations near you before and during the storm. And while we haven't had a major hurricane yet this season, experts warn more dangerous storms could be coming soon.
You've got to prepare. You've got to have a plan with your family and your neighbors and your colleagues.
At the Red Cross National Disaster Operations Coordination Center in Fairfax, Virginia, I'm Nadia Romero.
Welcome back to the East Daily Download here in Eastern North Carolina, CW. Quick reminder how you can find the show. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Use the hashtag East Daily Download. You can also go to WNCT.com under the East Daily Download tab and watch any of the episodes at any point and any time that you like at your convenience. Okay, still to come, we have a new Q&A with AQ. Angie Casada is going to answer your questions, and feel free to send her more at download@WNCT.com or using the hashtag East Daily Download on social media. But first, before we do that, we have a new Eye on Entertainment featuring The Rock. Let's see what they have to say.
Demi Lovato is joining Will Ferrell's movie project Eurovision. Ferrell made the announcement on Instagram while wishing Lovato a happy birthday. The Netflix comedy follows a pair of Icelandic musicians as they represent their country at the annual Eurovision Song Contest. Along with Ferrell and Lovato, the movie also stars Rachel McAdams and Pierce Brosnan. So far, there's no word on a release date. It's been a big week for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He got married, and now he tops the Forbes list of the world's highest paid actors. The Rock raked in more than $89 million over the past year. Next on the list, Chris Hemsworth, followed by Robert Downey Jr. And Margot Robbie, Nicole Kidman, and Charlize Theron star in Bombshell, the story of the women who helped bring down late Fox News co-founder Roger Ailes in a sexual harassment scandal. The movie takes an inside look at Ailes' interactions with his female employees before he was forced to resign in 2016. Bombshell drops into theaters in December. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Nichelle Medina, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Something funny starts to happen when you push yourself forward 5-second decisions at a time. Your life changes. So the 5-second rule is a universal law. Here it is. The moment you have an instinct to do something, you got to move within 5 seconds or your brain will talk you out of it. My whole life changed 11 years ago when I decided to launch myself out of bed like a rocket.
Yes! Yes!
And I went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and stood up. And that one 5-second decision changed my entire life. Change comes down to a choice, not the big choices, actually the little ones. The ones that happen 5 seconds at a time. The Mel Robbins Show is not a show, it's an experience where you start to understand what's holding you back, and more importantly, you take that next step toward getting the life that you want and the life that you deserve.
I'm a farmer. I know what cow chips smell like.
Russell Ballwig knows the perfect cow chip when he sees one.
This one ain't too bad either.
He has to pick about 300 to 400 of these every year for the annual cow chip throwing festival.
They're throwing cow poo.
Wouldn't be my first choice, but a solid number 2.
These are some of the nicest ones we've gotten all year.
You might think that they can just pick any old cow chip for people to throw. But there is a science behind this.
Ooh, I think it's going to be a little soft, though.
A solid explanation. And we just can't hold it in.
Needs to be fairly thick, dense, and you like them probably 8 inches, 10 inches around would make a very nice cow chip.
The ones they pick have to be just right.
Pick them up like that.
They have to come from specific cows.
They don't get any corn because they have to have grass, which is a lot of fiber, which makes the chips stick together.
They have to be dry enough to throw like a frisbee.
Throw them a long ways, people do, 200 and some feet.
Not too soft.
And here you see how dark it is? That is way too wet to be able to pick up.
But enough to be able to dry in time for the festival.
This is really nice and thick, nice density to it. And it might even have it's a little oblong, but then some people like that for a handle that you can throw it like a frisbee.
You might think that this is not the job for you. But for Russell.
We tell people they can lick their fingers if they want to, but not too many people do that.
His passion for it is explosive.
I think it's really unique because it's just something different that it's very few people in the United States or the world that actually do this.
And now you know where the perfect cow chips come from.
So that's what we do.
In Sauk City.
This one's going to be kind of soft for the year, but it should dry out really nice and we just use it for next year.
Jamie Perez, News 3 Now.
The truck's going to be full.
The East Daily Download is all about you. It's about local stories featuring local businesses. If you or your business would like to be featured, contact the sales team at WNCT. And be sure to watch new episodes weekday mornings at 7 on Eastern North Carolina CW.
How about a butterfly? A pink one, maybe. Or I could do a unicorn, a ladybug, a baby kitten. Your boyfriend's name inside a little heart.
Busy night tonight.
Everybody in here wants the same thing.
To you. Welcome to Q&A with AQ. I'm so excited to answer your questions this morning. So many people have been sending in these questions about ENC, trying to get to know me, the whole nine. So I'm super excited to answer these. Let's go right away to number one. If you wanted to, could you visit the beach and the mountains of NC all in one day? And how long would it take to get from one to the other? Well, I am so glad you guys asked. Is it something that I would do personally? Probably not. But if you wanted to, I would pick the Outer Banks because I've never been and I really want to go. And then I would pick Asheville because I really want to go to the Biltmore House and I heard there's mountains over there. So according to Google, that would be from the Outer Banks to Asheville, 320 miles, aka 5 hours and 1 good minute. So if that's what you choose to do, you can't stop and use the restroom or fill up for gas, then yeah, it would take you 5 hours and 1 minute from the Outer Banks to Asheville. And if you do go, let me know, I'll totally ride along. Question number 2, do you have any pet peeves? Well, I pride myself in being a very honest person, to the point where lying always, that just aggravates me a lot. You know, I don't like the gray areas, I like very straightforward. I'm a very straightforward person, so I think lying is one of my pet peeves. And believe it or not, one of my biggest pet peeves is the fake news voice. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Yep. You know the normal people that are just talking, you're like, hey, everything. And when it turns on, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, good evening, everybody. You know, I just hate that. I just wish people could just be true to who they are. I usually say that the person on TV when I'm doing the news is just kind of like the professional Angie, articulate every word, you know? But if you know me, I'm very outgoing, and I'm out of whack, and I tend to change my voice all the time. So, question number 3, how did you decide you wanted to be a reporter? Well, I played college basketball and I was like, what? I would love to be a sports reporter, get paid for it. So that's what I decided to get into. I was actually pre-law before, and then I realized it wasn't for me. So I ended up going into the whole sports reporting aspect and somehow winded up in news, and I haven't been back since. I love it. So Yeah, I originally started with sports, and then when I realized I could connect with the community on a different level and help them out, it made the biggest difference. Well, that's all the time we have. Q&A with AQ. Loved answering your questions, and if you want to see your question on air, just send them in to download at WNCT.com, and we can answer them. It could be about any little thing. I'll do the research, I'll be honest, so just send in your questions. Angie Casada, East Daily Download.
Well, this is Wednesday, September 11th, Patriots Day, and a national day of service and remembrance. Now, on this day, Americans across the country are called to volunteer in their local communities in tribute to the individuals lost and injured in the attacks, first responders, and the many who have risen in service to defend freedom. So that does it for us today on September 11th. We hope to see you again tomorrow with us on the East Daily Download. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Thursday, when we hit the road for the next edition of the East Daily Download, we'll have a new real estate roundup for you. Entertainment Tonight takes us behind the scenes of the live-action Lady and the Tramp movie. We've got part 4 of our Wood Ducks interview with Alexa Kay, and 10 p.m. anchor Angie Casada will introduce you to this week's child looking for a loving home. So join us on Thursday for an all-new The East Daily Download on Eastern North Carolina CW.